This is George Young, a.k.a. Boston George.
This is Stevie Stone.
This is Ed Rosenthal.
Jorge Cervantes.
Hey, this is Tommy Chong, and I'm with the Dabstar Lounge.
Hey everyone, it's Danny Greenfox. On episode 7 of the Dabstar Lounge, we're going to talk about sex and cannabis. How many ways can it be used to spice up your love life? We take a peek at the Naked Read report for an unclothed update before checking out some of the infused products on the market. And then speak to Heather B. from Ganja Vibes about her brand new canna-themed sex toy, the Mary Jane Vibrator. Coming up next on the Dabstar Lounge.
What's up, guys? I'm Jonah Tacoma, and welcome to the Sex and Cannabis issue. Much love to our sponsors, Fat Panda,
The New Amsterdam,
The Vault Genetics,
Dr. Dabber,
Cloud Pens,
Weed Bunny,
and Canacon. So I was doing some research for this episode, and I was rolling back in some Google searches, and I saw something from a porn website that had Jonah's name in it. And I didn't know whether I should click the link or not, but I ended up watching the video, and this is what I found.
I'm like, did I have too much to drink one night and end up in like a porn video? Thank God it wasn't that bad, but it turns out we were in an episode of The Naked News. So let's check that out.
You know the bartering system is the oldest form of payment, but when YouTube personality and weed advocate Jonah Tacoma stopped by a popular fast food chain to see if he could trade dabs for burgers and fries, his plan had a tiny backlash. After many employees refused the offer to partake with Tacoma and his crew, two eager beavers chose to take their smoke break a little early and were videotaped by Tacoma's crew taking hits through the drive-thru window. After the video was released, the two were fired, resulting from violating the restaurant's zero-tolerance policy. Tacoma plans on using the footage to aid in his advocacy for marijuana legalization and his quest for free burgers and fries. Go check out the full story at thesmokingbud.com.
All right, this is the only thing I'm going to say about the drive-thru dabbing incident. If it's done nothing else, it's pointed out how ridiculous it is to compare weed and alcohol. There's no stoner in the world that would say you get as intoxicated from taking a few dabs or smoking a joint as you do from taking a couple shots. So,
amen, brother. Absolutely.
All right, we as stoners have known that this goes together for a long time, but the industry is starting to wake up, and there's actually some pretty badass sex products that involve cannabis. What do you got, Danny?
products like Foria, cannabis infused lube.
Ooh, now that is by Dixie Elixir. Tripping those guys have been pretty cool to us growing up, and it's neat to see them break some ground in that direction.
Yeah, they say Foria increases blood flow, thereby creating a potent therapeutic aphrodisiac.
Interesting. So we're going to go ahead and hit them up for a product submission so we can try that out. We did get a product submission for this episode. All right, this is kind of a cool thing. This is a sex toy in the shape of a cannabis leaf. And she did it just because she saw the cannabis community and the sex toy industry, if you will, weren't that far apart. So she started doing the cannabis circuit. She goes to High Times. She does all this great stuff, and she gives these products to anybody and everybody that would like to test them out in the cannabis community. So we have played with it, and we had some fun with it. What do you think, Danny?
I liked it. I think that the magic is definitely on the inside of the toy. For those of you that try it out.
So there is a really powerful unit inside, like a silicone pot leaf, but that's kind of the foreplay part. And then when you want the serious action, we pop the motor out, which she showed us how to do, and use the actual hardcore unit, which was a lot of fun. So we are gonna actually roll over to David. He sat down with the owner of Ganja Vibes for an in-depth interview. Here we go.
I'm here with Heather B. from Ganja Vibes. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you, David? Hey.
Tell me a little bit about your toy here. What inspired it? What made you decide that you wanted to do an adult toy themed around marijuana?
You know, I've always had an affinity for ancillary products and accessories, and I like toy shops. And every time I went, I never really connected with anything. Any toys, any themes, any real, brands that were already out there. So a lot of smoke circles later and a lot of fun times and laughs and wild times and experiences later, Ganja Vibes itself came to mind. The Mary Jane Vibrator was not the first toy that I came up with. And I'm not going to tell you about that one because that's going to come at a later date. But the Mary Jane Vibrator came about as a second concept because it's less intimidating. I'll put it that way. It is relatable to cannabis because the Mary Jane Vibrator looks like a cannabis leaf. It's connected with a 4-foot durable cord that has a strain relief from it to the hand controller, which is operated by 2 AA batteries. And it has an original hand controller that's quite plush, if you ask me, with a wheel at the top that you just basically roll up the pleasure. And the intensities are low, medium, and high. Many of the women and men that have experienced this toy have all related back to me that low, medium, high doesn't exactly describe what happens when you use the Mary Jane Vibrator. So I urge you to try it yourself and get your own experience. The way that the toy is shaped was just to be blunt, for all the pun's sake in the world. And it's just basically to say, hey, this is Ganja Vibes. This is what we're here to do. We came to play. And the product itself and the actual toy, the Mary Jane Vibrator, took me quite some time to develop. The brand and the toy have been under development for almost 6 years now upon launch. And that's because of me really fine-tuning the elements, making sure that the motor was the highest grade that we can find, the highest quality that we can find, the longest lasting, and the best elements, and making sure that the design itself is solid enough to withstand the test of time and experience, and then making sure that it's just unique enough, it's the right texture, everything about it I've overthought. And it's a simple toy, and it's a selfish venture because it's every single thing that I either do or don't want combined into one toy. So it's like, you're not going to go through a bunch of pulsations and then get confused in the middle of your climax. Sorry, this is going to get you there no matter what. Nobody's going to distract you if that happens. I love the other toys that are high tech, but when it comes to a mainstay product, I wanted to create something that could withstand the test of time, and I think that we've done something like that with the Mary Jane Vibrator.
Can definitely tell that you put a lot of time and effort into thinking about this product and putting it together. Heather B, tell everybody where we can find this.
You can find the Mary Jane Vibrator at ganjavibes.com. You can also find it in a few head shops in the South, like High Society Houston, the Southside Smoke Shop, as well as Smoochies, which is a vape 24-hour lounge and sex toy store, and possibly Katz's soon. We'll see. Go request it at a store. Have them reach out to us. I'm more than happy to stock whoever wants Ganja Vibes in their life.
Awesome. Thank you. Heather B from Ganja Vibes. Appreciate you taking the time to talk with us.
Thanks, Dabstars. You guys rule.
All right, I'm Jonah Tacoma.
I'm Danny Green Fox.
And I'm David on One.
Thank you for listening to episode 7 of the Dabstar Lounge.